Guys, you are in for a treat today. I want to introduce Navy SEAL Lalo Roberti. Lalo, how are you?
Hey, buddy, how you doing, Matt? Good to finally talk to you, man. Hey,
I'm
I
doing
just wanted to thank you for
fantastic.
having me on. I wanted to thank you for having me on, bro.
Well, I'll tell you what, I want to thank you for taking time to be on. You have an amazing story, Lalo. You participated in Operation Red Wings.
I did, man. It seems like a long time ago, man, but it was just last night for me. You know what I mean?
Now, when you say that, just last night for you, you know, what do you mean by that? Because getting the opportunity to speak with a man like yourself who really was there, what was that like for you? If you could walk me through it, because it
Uh,
was such an intense journey from what I've read and what I've seen, but yet you were there. You experienced it.
yeah, I think it comes down to I think when you live through something like that, I think it's always going to be stuck, always going to be part of your mind. Um, but like I think about it all the time still, even to this day. It's hard not to. And with social media being the way that it is, we're all able to stay connected. Me and the guys that were on that mission, either Rangers, PJs. I talked to all those guys, some of the pilots that were part of the Night Stalkers over there. So I think just with social media, it's allowed us to carry on the names and legacies of the guys, the true heroes, the guys that died.
Yeah. Now, Layla, let me ask, what was your role in participating in this mission? I did some research on it. You guys were targeting the Taliban commander Ahmad Shah, correct?
Yep, that's correct. I was on the QRF, so I was a quick reactionary force. And when we got the call that Marcus and his team, Mike and his team, and Marcus was part of that, were in contact, I was in Bagram, and JT is one of the guys that died on the helicopter. He rolls into our compound in Bagram and goes, "Get it on, boys," and that means like put your gear on, let's go. He looks at me. They used to call me Brady, so I was like, I look like Greg Brady, man. I got a fat face and I curly Italian hair. You know what I mean? So Brady, get it on. So Brady, you're humping the pig. So I grabbed the Mark 48. The Mark 48 is the modern version of the 60. It's 100 rounds belt fed, 7.62. You guys probably know it as 308. And I just grabbed my gear, and like as we walked out to get on the helicopters, we have to get on like a big truck, a big military truck, and they got to drive us to Steel Pier. Well, as we were getting on, one of the priests was out there, like blessing the truck, like throwing holy water on us and the whole 9 yards. Guys were going up because we knew we were getting into it, man. Word on the street was there's 250 bad guys, 200 bad guys on the ground. Our guys are getting attacked. They got ambushed, and we need to get it on. So we loaded everybody with a gun. I think we even had guys that weren't team guys on those birds going over there. Like everybody with a gun. Hey, load it up. Let's get over there. So that was a very intense moment. That's probably one of three of the most intense moments I had on that mission.
Wow. Now, hearing that Marcus and the team had gone down, that they were having difficulty, and how you said, they came out and they said, "Let's get it on, let's go." What was going through your head there? I mean, being a Navy SEAL, I know that from what
Oh
I've
man,
heard from past interviews, you guys are always ready to go. The elite force, the elite sector, you guys are ready to take on whatever it is in your path. What was going through your head, though, when you knew that you were going into an area that was being controlled by, Ahmad Shah? I mean, this guy was notorious. He was a terrible guy, and I know he was in charge of, in charge of the murder of Marines. What was going through your
yeah.
head then?
Well, the dude was a total turd, and I think I was deeply concerned because I heard the numbers. I heard these guys got attacked, and I was just mainly concerned, man. I mean, I know. I listen. 14 guys against 100, I'll take it all day long. But you start going higher than that, then you're looking at some, difficulties. And I know that they didn't have any automatic weapons on the ground. So if they would have had automatic weapons, I think that they would have stood a better chance. But yeah, I was just really concerned, man. And I knew it was going to take us a long time to get over there because we were all the way in Bagram. What happened was we dropped these guys off the night before, and the Marine Corps FOB, the forward operating base that we were going to stay at, they wouldn't allow the air assets to stay there. It just brought too much heat on that compound. So we had to fly back to Bagram, which is like another 30-minute flight. So we knew that these guys had to hold up for at least another hour before we could even get boots on the ground to even get near these guys to help. So it was a very, very intense moment. And it was, I just prayed, man. I sat there and I just remember praying like, God, hey, help these guys. Let us get on the ground. Because I know if we get on the ground, especially my platoon, Echo platoon, if you put us on the ground, dude, it's over for the bad guys.
Yeah. And how did you, your mindset, being able to go into a hot situation like that, dealing with these guys where it was predominantly, what was the team, what was the team number that you were going in with compared? Because I know there was probably tons of, terrorists all over in that region.
Well, yeah, the mindset goes back to Buds, man. They teach you. You gotta look at the left and the right, man. Yeah, I gotta worry about the reason SEAL teams are we're so successful and we've been so successful in theater is because we worry about the guy left and right, man. If you got 360 degrees right there, you know what I mean? So that's the mindset. They beat it into us at Buds for 6.5 months. Then we go to SQT jump school, cold weather training. Then you're in a platoon. So the mindset's there. And in terms of the 17 or 18 of us that were heading over there, because there was only I think there was maybe 20 of us heading over there, dude. I mean, 20 fully loaded, combat loaded SEALs are that might as well be 500 bad guys. You know what I mean? We're the best. Period. End of story. ... So it doesn't matter if we're going up against 1,000 guys. We don't care. We're trained to win, and that's it.
So you get the call, that you're going over, the reason. Did you know that you were going over to save Marcus Luttrell?
Yeah, we knew. Yeah, well, we knew. Well, so Operation Red Wings is broken down into 3 different things. So we got the call that these guys were in contact. Boom, we hop on the helicopters, we fly over there, and as we're flying over there, a whiteboard went around the helicopter. It went around one time, and I was a new guy in that platoon. But Dan Healy and a couple of his guys, Suh and Patton, were on my helicopter. And when the whiteboard came around to me, and this is in transit, this is en route, man, we're going to save these guys. When it got to Dan Healy got up. He looked pretty pissed off. He went to the front of the bird, and there was a little bit of an argument with him, Mike McGreevy, and Commander Christensen. And so they started erasing names, and then the whiteboard came back around again. And on the second time, my name had gone from being on the helicopter to being off. So the plan was we're going to drop 8 guys off of each helicopter at this forward operating base because we had burned so much fuel on the way over there. And the altitude, we're looking at 13,000 feet up there, so we were too heavy. So the plan was to drop 8 guys off, go up there, fast rope these guys in, secure an LZ, and then go refuel, come back and pick us up. So I was on because this is original Echo platoon, but Dan Healy, like I said, he got upset, talked to Mike. The whiteboard went around again, and my name was off now, and Dan's name was on with Suh and Patton. And to fast forward 24 hours into the future, I ended up, going in and recovering their bodies. So that one decision right there really saved my life. That Dan got up, he wanted to go in there. Marcus and Murphy were his guys, and that decision really ultimately saved my life.
So going,
but yeah, dude,
go on. I'm sorry.
So it's broken down to 3 things. So that's section 2. So then we go in, boom, we rope in 85 feet, we're getting shot at, and we secure an LZ. They start dropping PJs in. They recover those bodies, and now it's just, we got to go find Marcus. We hadn't heard from these guys in 24 hours. We got to go find these guys. We don't know if they're alive. All we found were a few blood trails and some AK-47 casings, and literally that's it. So I ended up that night, this is 24 hours into the operation. And mind you, we haven't slept in 4 or 5 days because we've been up planning to take the turd out, man, Ahmad Shah. We're going to take him out. We're going to decimate these guys. And so we get in, and yeah, it was literally, I had to go back to Buds, and with that mindset of being up for a week and not sleeping, and then we had to operate, like that. So we did that. We didn't find Marcus Luttrell. We went back to Bagram with the bodies, and then a day or 2 later, we get a call that Marcus is alive. Somebody had gone down, I think Shin, the goat herder, went down turned his name in with like his serial or like his social security number or whatever to one of the bases. So we get the call, hey, Marcus is alive. So we gear up again. This is our second time in. And by the time we actually got all the way up to where Marcus was rescued, they just rescued him. We watched the bird leave, and then we went into the village. We set up shop in the village, and then the next day we found Axelson's body, got him on a bird, got out of there, and that was Red Wings.
Wow. So going into that village, one question that I do want to ask you, because this is the awesomeness about speaking with you now on Patriots Corner is that you telling the story. They did make Lone Survivor. I know they made Lone Survivor, and it was a wonderful movie. I loved watching it.
Mm-hmm.
But
definitely,
how close was the accuracy to what happened to what was shown in the movie?
Well, I mean, you got to look at it. There's two different sides. So I was a QRF. I think most of it's accurate based on the debrief that Marcus gave us in Bagram. Once he got out, he spent like a day or two in the hospital there. He came in, he debriefed us on his side of what happened. We debriefed him on our side of what happened. So based on his debrief, and it was really fresh. I mean, just a couple days into it, I think it's pretty darn accurate. Absolutely.
Now, what did you guys do when you said you set up shop in the village after the helicopter had just left with Marcus? What was going through your head then? Was there any nerves? I mean, I'm sure that those bad guys, they're still in the area. Was there ever a sense of feeling as you don't know, not to make judgment, but you don't know who's who. You don't know if there's somebody blending. Yeah.
Absolutely. You don't know who's who. These guys will shoot at you with their AK-47s, and then they'll put them down, run into one of the villages, and then now they're one of the villagers that are greeting you and saying, hey, hello, thank you, Americans, we love you. You know what I mean?
Really?
So, that's always on. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And that's why there's so many similarities between the Vietnam guys and us, and that's why we get along real well. See, the Vietnam guys didn't get along real well with the World War II guys, but the Vietnam guys get along well with us because it's pretty much the same type of war, man. Just different weapons and desert and jungle, But yeah, man. So that was on my mind, and then also I was just excited that Marcus was alive, man. Like we had one guy. We got one guy out of there alive. I mean, we took a lot of heavies up until that point. That's the largest loss of life in the SEAL team's history. Fast forward a couple years after that, now it's been worse. There's been bigger accidents, but I mean, I was just happy to see that he was alive, man. And there was still hope for Axelson at that time. We hadn't heard from him, but the hope, hope is what drove us. But I think ultimately we were just so stoked that Marcus was alive, man. I mean, that's like a miracle.
Of course. And I would like to mention, my condolences to your fallen brother in Yemen and as well.
Oh, yeah, no, thank you. Yeah, you know what, dude? Hey, listen, it's because of guys like that we're able to sit here on the phone right now and talk. And I wake up every morning and I thank God that I have strong, brave brothers over there fighting right now, man, for our freedom. My brother's also a SEAL. So he's an active duty Navy SEAL, and so it hits home when we lose a guy like that. And it's such a small community. It's tough, man. It's tough, man. You start thinking about the families, you start thinking about the kids and the moms, the dads, and it's horrible all the way around. But he's, I look at it like this, man. You look at a big wave surfer. He wants to die surfing a 1,000-foot wave. There's no such thing, but that would be like his goal. Well, the same thing with a Navy SEAL. Like the ultimate thing, dude, to do is to die in combat. So he did what he loved doing. He died doing what he loved doing. And dude, that's amazing, man. He's a legend.
Yeah, of course. And that's the thing about you guys, meaning Navy SEALs. You are the most elite. You do the unthinkable. And that's where, to backtrack a little bit, you just sharing that story of being able to go in, as QRF, quick reaction, and have the goal that no one's going to stand in your path. There's nothing that's going to stop you. Did that, that had to be in your mind as well. There's no one who's going to keep you from getting to Marcus or anybody else at that matter.
Absolutely not. We've never left a man behind, and we weren't going to start then. So we had the stress of that on us, on our platoon. It's like, listen, we got a whole bunch of guys out there. We don't know where they're at. We recovered a bunch of guys that had died. Okay, now we got to go find these guys because we don't want to be known as the platoon that left people out there. And these guys deserve to come home, man. So I don't care if we lose another 50 guys. We're going to go out there. We're going to get these guys, and we're going to bring them home, man. And we're going to bury them, and we're going to let their families see them. That's it. End of story. That's how we live. We live and die by that code.
And you mentioned earlier that it all goes back to Buds. Now let's backtrack a little bit.
Yep.
Inheriting this, where did it all begin for you?
Oh man, I grew up in the jungles of Thailand. I lived the first 4 years of my life in Thailand. My parents were missionaries, so I'm used to being in a foreign country. We moved back to San Diego because my youngest brother was born with cleft lip and palate. So his medical needs exceeded the Thai's ability to work with him. So we moved back to San Diego, and that's where this stuff happened. So my father had to work construction to get medical for my brother. So part of that was he helped build the new facilities in Coronado. So he would come home after a hard day of work and tell us about these guys, these Greek god-looking dudes running up and down the beach in their little tri-shorts, and these guys are ripped and they got helmets on, and so we started doing some research and found out that these guys are Navy SEALs. And I was about like 11 years old, 12 years old. So then immediately I was like intrigued, man, because I'm an adventurer, man. I'm an adventurer. Like I said, I grew up in the jungles of Thailand, dude. So immediately I started doing research and said if I ever went in the military, and I played baseball in high school, and I wanted to go pro, and I had dreams of playing in the stadium in San Diego, San Diego Padres Stadium, whatever. And so I just started doing my research, and one thing led to the other. I got a horrible car accident. I fell asleep at the wheel when I graduated high school. And that was it. That was the decision. I told my dad that day, I said, listen, I'm joining the Navy tomorrow, and I'm going to be a Navy SEAL. And that's what happened.
Wow. So before going to Coronado, to Buds, and becoming a Navy SEAL, did you do anything in the Navy beforehand, or did you go straight to Buds?
No. So I was 19 years old. I graduated high school. I was 19 years old going through Buds. I went to when I went through. I'm kind of old school, man. So when I went through, I went to Navy boot camp in Great Lakes. I passed the PRT there. I was one of the only guys to pass out of like 200 people that tried out for it. And then from there, they used to send us to our A schools. Our A schools, like in the Army, they call it MOS, but in the Navy, it's called an A school. So had I not made it through Buds, I would be able to go on a ship. And I went to Aircraft Ordnance School in Pensacola, Florida. That's where the Blue Angels fly. So I got a free air show every day, man. It was great. But I went there for 6 weeks, and then I trained really hard there. Got stung by jellyfish every single day swimming in the Gulf. But I didn't care, man. I was focused. And then they flew me back to San Diego, and then I classed up and went through Buds, man. I was in Buds class 247. First try every time. I failed a couple things during Buds, like I failed a run and then pool comp once, but all in all, it was a pretty smooth ride, man. I was young though, man. I didn't know any better. I was too dumb to quit.
Yeah. Now, when you said just on a random note, it just made me think. A question that I always had to, I always wondered. Do you guys ever worry about sharks when you're swimming in the water out in California? I mean, it makes me think, it had me, it's something I've always wanted to ask, and you can't find any research, the research that I have found on Google and everything, it says what I already think, that the seal's going to kill the shark, which I could see happening.
Hey man, listen, we have standby guys. We have standby SEALs in boats with SWIT guys, and they have shotguns, man, and they're waiting for the sharks to show up. But listen, yeah, and sharks love seals, man. I mean, that's like, dude, they love eating seals. So anyway, that was kind of like a little joke, but they would play. I laugh because they played us before our 2 mile ocean swims, nautical mile ocean swims. The instructors would pull us in, and they'd play like Jaws video, like shark videos, sharks attacking dudes, and like gnarly videos of these great white sharks just eating things.
Wow.
And they'd play that right before we'd go on an ocean swim. So you'd be swimming along with your swim buddy, and then like his fin would touch you, right? And then you just like kind of jump up, like freak out, like you hit him, punch him, stop hitting me, man. Because you think it's a shark, and you got goggles on, so you're looking around, you're looking in the water. It's unnerving, man. Sharks are not, because we're in there. Listen, that's their habitat. You know what I mean? So
of course. Well, I guess the joke would be on the shark, because I could bet money that you would be killing the shark with no issue, or do whatever it takes.
Dude, listen, man. We had our K bars. They always made us dive with or swim with our K bars. And those things, like literally, like you had to be able to shave your arms. We had to sharpen those things, like inspection ready for every swim. So we had those, and those things will slice right through a shark. But not if it's got my leg in his mouth. You know what I mean? So these things are going through your mind at the time, and but you just power through it, man. You power through it. The chances of you getting eaten by a shark are slim to none, and you just go through it, man. It's just like anything else. It's the mindset like that'll allow you to get on a helicopter and go back into a place where there's already been a helicopter destroyed and a whole bunch of dudes are dead and they're your like best friends. Like it's that mindset that allows us to focus and do those things, man. And you're gonna learn that in buds, man.
Yeah. Now, did you ever have a point in buds where you wanted to quit, where you said to yourself that you might not want to do this?
Listen, man, I get that question a lot lately, especially on my Instagram. And I never thought about. Listen, people say, oh, if somebody, some SEALs will be like, hey, listen, if this guy said he didn't want to quit or he never thought about it, he's lying. Listen, I don't lie. I didn't think about quitting. It wasn't never an option for me. What did go through my mind was, this sucks. I hate this. I want this to be over. I don't want to be here right now. But in terms of going up and ringing that bell, that's just I'm not built that way. So I never thought about that. But yeah, it definitely sucked. Like a lot of guys will tell you, if there's a bell in the room in your barracks, there would be a lot less SEALs in the world. And that might be true, man, because some days it just gets, you have 2 hours of sleep all week. You've been doing hydro reconnaissance all week. It'd be easier just to ring the bell, but I never thought about it, dude.
I wouldn't think so at all. After speaking with you, I wouldn't think so at the slightest. Now, you pushing through this training, the push-ups, the pull-ups, the running in wet pants, wet gear, everything. What got you motivated through that? Was it just to keep going, or was it just you just told yourself this is what you want to do and you're not gonna give up?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that and the pictures in my head of 9/11 and I remember when 9/11 hit. I was a junior in high school and I was in art class and the second bird hit, and I just remember my stomach getting sick and just getting angry and upset. And these are Americans, man, and now they're dead because we got attacked. So that's going through my mind while I'm in buds as well. So that kind of helped me over the edge, and helped me through some of those tough times during training.
Now, after buds, after you graduated, if you can share, what was next? What was after buds, after graduation?
Yeah, so when I went through, we went immediately to Army Airborne School. So we go there for I think 3 or 4 weeks, and we do static line jumping. So we do 5 jumps, we do a night jump, and then we do 4 day jumps, learn how to pack your shoes, the whole 9 yards. So from there, we go to SQT, which SEAL qualified training. It's enhanced version of third phase in buds. And third phase is your demo phase. So you're learning how to shoot, move, communicate, assault targets, L-shaped ambushes, that kind of thing. You're working with explosives. So we just did that, and then it was an enhanced version of second phase, which is diving. So you dive a lot, you do a lot of land warfare, a lot of land navigation, map and compass stuff, and it's great. So we do that for about 4.5 months, 5 months, and then from there we we graduate. Boom, you get your trident, you get pinned. Who pinned me? Captain Smethers pinned me. So we get pinned, boom, we're SEALs, and then from there we go up, and I can't tell you where we go next, but we go to cold weather training somewhere and get it done, man. And then from there, I volunteered to go to my SEAL team early because SEAL Team 10 was so new; they just commissioned them. So I volunteered with a handful of other guys. Immediately after graduating cold weather training, bam, we packed our bags. We went back to San Diego, packed our bags, hopped in our vehicles, and beelined it for the East Coast.
Now, what was your SEAL team? Now, your SEAL team that you got assigned to?
I was SEAL Team 10. So SEAL Team 10 it's on the East Coast, and they were brand new back in 2005. I think they commissioned 2004.
And what was that?
Even I think 2003. I think 2003 they commissioned, and then I was with them 2004.
Okay, and the specialty in that SEAL team was was what? Was
Well, right now with the current conflicts, it used to be like some guys would go to South America, they'd have platoons just for guys that were like SOCOM guys, AFRICOM guys. So, but now it's every SEAL platoon is the same, and everybody's going to the sandbox. Period. End of story. I was a breacher, so I was a lead breacher. So after my first platoon, going into my second platoon, I became a breacher, one honor man, whole 9 yards. But that was my specialty in the SEAL teams. But yeah, man, there's no special SEAL team. There's Dev Group, and everybody knows. I could talk about it because the president back in the day made a mistake and told everybody that these elite warriors from SEAL Team 6 out of Virginia Beach killed Bin Laden. So the gig's up, but those guys are like, Delta level.
wow. Now, your first mission, your first operation that you went on was spent over in the Middle East.
Yes.
Okay. Now, first time getting over there, if it was your first time, being over in that area, what was going through your head there when you found out that, okay, now it's time that, it's on, we're getting in the action?
I'll be honest. Yeah, no, I'll be honest with you, Matt. The first thing that went through my head, because you roll into Afghanistan, man, and like there's fires. You see fires from the sky, man. We rolled in at night on a C-17, big bird, man. I mean, you could put like a mini jumbo jet inside this thing, and that's how big these things are. You put tanks in them and everything.
Wow,
like
that must be huge.
Oh yeah, it's like 3 city buses can fit in these things. But that's the one where the nose comes up and they can roll up. It's crazy. You sleep on top of the Connex boxes on the way in. So when you go in, they got to do like this corkscrew so that these guys don't get shot out of the sky by like RPGs or surface-to-air missiles. So as we're circling in and we're corkscrewing down to land in Bagram, I just remember seeing fires all over that country. And you're in third world. You're about to be in the suck. And it's you get butterfly. It's like if you play sports, and you're getting ready to go up to the bat, or you play football and you're in the locker room, you're getting ready to go on the field. Like that's kind of the same feeling that I felt because I played sports, So that's the best way that I can explain it.
Now, when you went into that first operation, that first situation where you knew that, how you said, you were going into the suck, did you ever have a thought in your head that, okay, what if I freeze up? What if I forget how to do this? And then it just kicks in when the time gets tough?
No, I don't. I no, because we're trained. It's just like riding a bike, man. Like I'm not gonna I'm not gonna be able to unlearn how to ride a bike. Like once I learn how to ride it, I'm going. So it's all muscle memory, and it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and like 1,000 hours on the gun. So and in kill houses. And by this time, you've been training with these guys for like a couple years of your life. So it's just like second nature, man. It's the training's very real in the SEAL teams. And I think that ultimately that's what prepared me for that. And, you look to the left, you look to the right, and everybody just trusts each other. And that's it, man. So I never froze up, and everything came second nature to me, just like riding a bike, man.
Was there ever times where you had to embed in the area, or was it always a go in and get out, or were there ever times where you had to stay with a family who a Middle Eastern family or anything along those lines?
No, I never had the opportunity to do that. It was always like we'd go hit a target, and then we'd get intel off that target. We'd interrogate some of the bad guys that were still alive or their families, and we'd interrogate those guys. We'd find out. We'd get follow-on information and follow-on targets based from there. So sometimes we'd be on the road for, sometimes we'd be on the road or in the air out there for, a week, 2 weeks at a time, just hitting target after target after target after target, hunting these guys down, man.
And you love doing this. Like you said, you were, you signed up for it, you trained to do it. You love doing it.
Yeah, it's like if you play baseball your whole life or whatever, and I keep referring back to that. You're in the big leagues now, man, and it's definitely the big leagues. And yeah, I loved it. I got out and contracted a little bit, but I train, man. I love teaching, so that's one of the things that I really enjoy doing. And I'm running courses for civilians. I've been doing that for years. I'm building gear for the guys to allow them to do their jobs more effectively. And that's kind of the role I've taken on now, man. I'm living vicariously through some of my guys. And you know what? Here's the thing. These guys are heroes, man. Like some of the guys that I went in with, They're still fighting in it. They're still fighting the bad guys. They're at Dev Group now. These guys have been in for 10, 15 years now, and all they know is war. So those are like the true heroes here, man. And I'm just thankful for those guys. But yeah, man, we love doing what we do.
Wow. Now, it's just amazing to hear your story and the success and everything that you've gone through. Was there ever any operations that you can share where you just said to yourself, this is going to get really hot? Like how Operation Red Wings, you knew going in that, did you know going in that there might be, something where
Yeah,
you might not
no,
come back?
no, man, absolutely. So I'll tell you a quick story. We went into this. We had to patrol. We went into really bad guy territory, and we had to patrol through like 2 villages to get to the other village because they were so embedded deep into the hills, deep into the mountains. And so sneaking through with night vision goggles on, in the middle of the morning, sneaking through these villages, and you can hear people snoring in the rooms, man. And you're just patrolling through dead of night, cold, ice cold. You can see your breath, and you got 16 SEALs, and that's the hairiest. That's probably one of the hairiest situations I've been in. And we didn't wake anybody up. We went in, we assaulted the target, we got the bad guys, and a whole bunch of bomb making material. So that was an awesome operation for me, man. But hairy, dude, real hairy.
Well, that's the thing that I think I love the most about listening to guys like yourself speak, meaning Navy SEALs, is that your main goal is to go in, get the mission done, and then get out.
That's it, man. That's it. And we train, we fight like we train, and we train like we fight. So we dive our plan. We plan our dive. We dive our plan, man. And it's rehearsals. It's rehearsal concept drills. We call them rock drills. Rehearse. Go hit the target. Go win. Get this job done, period. And that's why we're so reliable. And that's why we got the call to go kill bin Laden. That's why the SEAL teams got that call. Because the higher ups, they know, man, these guys are going to go in there and they don't care what's going to happen. They're going to get in there. They're going to get the job done. We know they're going to get the job done, and they're going to come home. Period. And that's a great part of this thing. And that's just like it's the best fraternity in the world, man. And I'm just so proud to be a part of it.
Now, were there ever any situations, and please only share if you're able to share. I understand that some stuff cannot be shared, but
Right,
were there
right.
ever any scenarios where you thought that your unit or your team was going to come across bin Laden when he was alive?
I mean, the dream's there, man. Listen, that was every one of our
I gotta tell you right now. I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I gotta say, I love that you just said it like that too. The dream is there because I have so much respect. That is just amazing.
Yeah,
I have to tell you that.
yeah. No, listen, man. Listen, the dream was there, dude, and somebody else got him. We all know who that is. But yeah, like when that dude when he killed bin Laden, I remember hearing about it on the news and just being like, dang it, man. Like, because I wanted to do that. You know what I mean? So, and that goes for everybody in the SEAL teams, man. We all wanted that. We all wanted to take that shot, but thank God one of the brothers got him, and yeah, man, the dream was real, and you know what? Somebody else got him, but I feel like I'm a part of that, and I think every SEAL feels like they're a part of that because, I've been through the same training, I've been through the same stuff that the dude that killed him went through, so it just feels really good to be a part of that.
Of course. Now, what happened afterwards, after Operation Red Wings? Did the tension, now that Ahmad Shah was dead and you guys had rescued Marcus Luttrell and had recovered the bodies, did the tension rise? What happened then?
Well, Ahmad Shah, I believe, got taken out a while later, like a couple years later. Like he was elusive, man. He was number 3 on the list, but we ended up going back in and getting him. I didn't, but some of my teammates did, and so that's part one of your question. Can you ask the second part?
Yeah, did the tension rise now when the village took Marcus in? And you said that you guys stayed there. You set up shop. You stayed there.
Yep.
Was that to protect the village? Because, I'm sure that they were not happy with what had just happened.
Well, no, man. We laid up there. The thing was we laid up there for a day so that we can get Matt Axelson's body out of there.
Okay.
We had to find Matt, and so that was like really close to where the troops in contact was, where Mike and those guys got hit. So we were just up there to I guess make hearts and minds, man. We were winning the hearts and minds of those guys, but at the same time, we weren't there to protect them. We were there to get our brother out of there and then get out of there ourselves.
Of course. Yeah, of course. Now, going back in after that situation, after Operation Red Wings, what was that like? Now, having just been in this scenario, was it just going back in like another fight, or?
Yeah, I mean, it was a little intense, but yeah, it was. We still had bodies out there. We still had brothers out there, man, that were lost, and I think ultimately that weighs heavier on everybody's heart than anything else. So in terms of like having fear or anxiety or whatever about it, no, man, we were happy to be back out there. We were tired. We were beat up. We took heavies. We were operating with a skeleton crew of guys, but we knew that we had to get the job done no matter what, man. That's what we did.
Of course. And it's just so amazing, the mindset that you guys adopt is just, it's incredible. Going in and knowing that you have to rescue your fallen brother in a situation that could be completely outnumbered. I feel like you guys work a majority with, operate with teams that are small, correct?
Absolutely, man. And I say, it's funny because you remind me when I went back in with some of the dev group guys, to get to recover the guys. I remember saying bye and giving one of my buddies a hug, and I didn't think I was coming back, man, because we were going in at night. There was intel saying that these guys had surface-to-air missiles, which it's going right after the rotors, basically the rotors and the jet engines on these 47. So I thought for sure we were gonna get shot out of the sky. So I gave him, I remember shaking Dougie's hand, giving him a hug, and be like, all right, man, I'll see you when I see you. I thought definitely we were going to get hit, but we got in and got the job done.
Yeah. And what's the strategy? Do you guys have a strategy going in, fighting, the terrorists in the Middle East? Do they have a strategy? And then, do you guys have a strategy, or do you guys just stick to one code to operate on with anyone and everyone?
No, definitely. I think there's a little bit of both. I think that we always had a primary, secondary, and tertiary plan. And the thing about SEALs is we think outside the box, so nothing's ever going to be generic, man. You could start with a generic plan, but you know that it's going to evolve based on real-time intel and what you're seeing in front of your face. So never have that mindset of just we got to do everything one way. No, you got to be smarter than these guys. And the bad guys are getting real smart. They're getting real smart, man. You got the internet out there. These guys are learning. They're adjusting also, and they're seasoned, man. They're salty, old, bad guys now, man. And that's who we're going up against. Just like we're getting great at fighting wars and being in wars, like we've never been this good. I don't think ever in the history of the U.S. But the same thing with the bad guys, man. They're fighting, they're evolving, and we have to make adjustments based on that.
And now that you said that, they're getting to talk about in today's line and modern what's happening and what's going on in the country as, in regards to what's going on over the world, what's your thoughts on that? How you did say that they are using the internet, in which we see on the media all the time. Is that a big fear? Or
I think, yeah, of course, man. I think ultimately, but we have so many levels of intel, man. We have America's just an amazing country, man. We are so blessed. Trust me, I've been in the deepest, darkest holes that this world has to offer, man, and around the most dangerous individuals this world's ever known, man. And I tell you what, I am so thankful to be an American because, like I said, man, we're so strong. So we just have to stand by our leadership. And I know there's a lot of tugging. There's a divide right now, but we just got to ride it out, stand by our leadership, and just really focus and think about making our country the best that it can be, And that's all there is to it. So we got to support these guys, whether we agree with their policies and whatever else. We just got to think about our brothers and sisters who are over there fighting this, very long and serious war. And it's not going to end anytime soon. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to get worse before it gets better.
I was just about to ask, what do you see? What's your prediction on what's going to happen in the future? Because I keep hearing that ISIS, the Islamic State, is really taking over a large majority of the Middle East, which I know that Al Qaeda was doing that at the same time.
We're going to beat the tar. We're going to continue to beat the tar out of these guys. And like I said, we got the best military in the world. We have the best, and we're seasoned, man. So for any of these guys that are, like ISIS or whatever, that are up and comers, we're going to smash them, man. Just take the gloves off. We need the gloves to come off so that we can take these guys out. But we're going to win. We're going to win. Period. End of story. I don't have any doubt in my mind about that, because I know the level. I know the caliber of operator that's operating over there now. And I tell you what, man, I wouldn't want to go up against these guys right now. Our guys. I'm talking about our guys.
Of course, yeah. I mean, it's
those guys are turds, man. The freak ISIS guys are turds, and everybody knows that. These guys are evil, evil, evil. And we need to take every single one of them out, period. And we're not going to stop till that happens.
I agree 100%. And thank God that we have men like yourself who are able to go up against those guys. It's just so amazing because, I can't even wrap my head around the mentality that you guys inherit and adopt. It's so amazing. Like you said, you're going in with small teams to take out large numbers of people.
It's such a small, tight-knit community, and the training is really what gets us. We adopt that mentality through our training, man, because it's very personal. It's very, you're close to these guys. You grow close. You become closer to these guys than you do your own family. I mean, that's you're living together. You're eating together, and it's just that's really why we've been so successful, man. And that's why we're going to continue to grow. We're going to continue to evolve our tactics, and that goes for training as well. And you know what? We're going to, in 25 years, we'll have the same conversation. The SEAL teams are going to be like that much better. You know what I mean? From everything that we've learned in this war and the next war, because there will be another war. You know what I mean? So we have to make sure that we're prepared for that, and that's exactly what we do every day.
Of course. And after graduation, how you just said brotherhood, it is your family. What was it like being able to, be on the East Coast after graduation, and being able to hang out, with your new brothers, and especially all being Navy SEALs? That's the coolest thing in the world.
Man. Listen, the second you're saying that, I have all these visions of like the parties, man, and it's great, man. You're like a rock star, man. You're like a rock star. You put the trident on, and it's great. You can take a deep breath. It's short-lived because you're getting ready to go to combat. But we have a great time. We have the greatest time out of anybody I know, man. I tell you what, every Virginia Beach and every training facility throughout the United States knows who we are, and they prepare themselves, man, for when we come into town. So it's just great, dude.
And then I know you guys are, obviously big on keeping it a secret, right? After, when you're in Virginia Beach, is it still, it's kept a secret after graduation, after completing BUD/S?
I mean, listen, I know guys that, and this is going to crack you up. I know guys that be like, hey, listen, don't drop the S-bomb when we go out. And then we go out, and then immediately these guys are like talking to girls, and they're like, hey, man, listen, I'm a SEAL. So listen, whatever you hear about that kind of stuff, it's probably a rumor, man. We're really proud of what we do.
Of course.
But we also keep a lot of stuff, from the public, and as we should, because we got to keep our guys safe. And so you guys, just think of an iceberg. You see the tip of the iceberg, and then everything else is underneath. That's what you guys see right now. That's what you're hearing right now. It's just the tip of the iceberg, man. There's so much more to being a frogman.
Yeah, and having all this training, have you ever been in a situation where maybe somebody who was just a regular civilian, gets on your nerves or wants to pick a fight with you for over something stupid, and you're just thinking to yourself, oh, God, you know what, man? You really don't want to do this right now. You do not want to get into this right now because it will not end good for you.
I have been in so many situations like that with my buddies, and, like, I'll see somebody, like, saying something to one of my buddies. I'm like, dude, if they knew who they were talking to right now, like, I'm a big guy. I'm 256 pounds, 256.8 pounds. And I tell you what, man, some of the gnarliest dudes in the teams are, like, 5'8", just like fireworks, man. And these guys, I tell you what, dude, it's bad all the way around. I've seen it. I've seen it. More than one bars go upside down.
It's kind of just like I envision it as being just something like, you thinking, all right, man, you really don't want to do this right now. This is not what's, this, you do not want to get yourself involved in this because it's not going to end well for you. Just go
Listen,
on, move on.
yeah. You're going to end up in the hospital, and then you're going to, sit out of the shop for the next 6 months. I've seen that happen, and it's not pretty. But, yeah, ultimately, we try to walk away, though, man. We try to walk away at all costs. It's a kind of one of those situations. Same thing with combat is be careful what you wish for, you know what I mean? So you want to get in a firefight, you want to go kill bad guys, but then when you get there and you actually get into it, it's a scary situation, man. It's very intense, and the same thing with fighting and stuff like that. Like we try to keep our nose clean like that, man, and we just try to be good ambassadors of the Trident and good ambassadors of the SEAL teams, man. Period.
Of course. Now, do you feel that the Navy SEALs now being seen, being Hollywood being able to tell the stories of, what you guys have done and completed, do you feel that you'll get more people who will say, oh, I want to be a Navy SEAL. I want to be a Navy SEAL. I want to do this. I want to give this, a shot. And do you feel that the training is just going to get more and more intense, than it already is, just to weed out those people who really don't have what it takes?
Absolutely. Well, the training in itself is going to weed those guys out. It's so intense. If you make it through first phase, you're probably going to be a SEAL. So they don't have to increase it or decrease it. It's perfect the way it is in terms of the training. And like I said, man, you're going to know right after Hell Week who you're going to be going to platoons with. Yeah, the training is super intense, and it's been that way since day one. Way back 1960, even before that with the UDT guys. So we're very confident in the way that we're training our guys.
Well, before we sign off, Lalo, first off, I'd like to say thank you so much for being on Patriots Corner today. It was such a privilege being able to speak with you and listen to your amazing story. You are literally the All-American, I could say this on the radio, the All-American badass. I could say that on the radio. That's allowed.
All right. Yeah, no, thank you for having me, man. I'm honored to be a part of this. You're doing great things, man. Keep doing what you're doing. Never give up, and just chase your dream, and that's what you're doing. That's why I admire you for doing that. And to all your listeners, man, thank you guys for tuning in. And get on there, follow me, Lalo Roberti 247 on Instagram. Do it. I'm constantly on live shows, and all I want to do is just spread the word on the SEAL teams and how to make us all better individuals, period.
Now, I just have one more question for you before we do sign off. What's your stance on the new presidency? I know you mentioned it a little bit before. I am a Trump supporter. I'm a conservative. I love the fact that he loves you guys, specifically the military, especially the elite military as well. What's your stance on all that's going on right now? You see all these protests, which I think is crap. I don't agree with it whatsoever.
I think the protests are insane. I think that people are crying. I think that they're crybabies, to be honest with you. And I think it's wrong. And I think we have to support him no matter what. And I support Trump, period, 110%. I'll take that stance. And I support, anybody who gets up there and wants to lead this country for the better, man. And that's it. We've got to stand by him. Things aren't going to happen overnight. We've got to be patient. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was America. So we just have to constantly evolve and know that, and just support our guys, man. And I support Trump as well, brother.
Lalo, thank you so much for being on.
Oh, man, thank you, bro.
I loved it so much. Thank you so much for your service. It was a true honor, and I can't thank you enough. And everyone listening, I know they enjoyed this as well. You have shared such an amazing journey and story that you have done, and God bless America, God bless you, and God bless the Navy SEALs and all military.
Hey, thank you, brother. Have a good day, bro.
You too. Thank you for listening to Patriots Corner. It was a fantastic interview, and thank you to Navy SEAL Lalo Roberti. God bless America, and God bless you, Lalo.
I got the call to leave today. My team and I are gone away. Where to, how long? Well, that's a need to know. You can bet on us, 'cause we're good to go.